Peace. What's going on, y'all? Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today is Monday, July 3rd, 2023. The time is now 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is G.R.O.W.T.H Podcast. I'm your host, Kofa, Kofa, not coffee, not kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. G.R.O.W.T.H stands for Gentlemen Reaching Our Wealth Through Healing, where we help men find a positive fuck it. I apologize. I was juggling two things at one time. Came in stuttering a little bit. Let me get out this other program I was just working in. Give me one quick second. I'm going to get to y'all comments. I hear y'all coming in already. I don't know what this thing was doing. Let me get to y'all comments. Early Broker Traditions in here. He already starting this. Let me go ahead and clarify something for y'all. This is the greatest, most supportive YouTube troller on YouTube. Broker Tradition says, I have a feeling Toothpick Kofa will be used during this live stream. No, I'm not going to go Toothpick Kofa today, man. I'm in a chill mood. It says, look, I told y'all, man, he just got out of the Do Better podcast with Theo Coop. Shout out to Theo. He just got out of there trolling Theo a second ago, but he is right. This is going to be, it might be triggering for some. Hold on, let me turn up some of my lights. What am I doing? There we go. Now you can see me a little bit clearer. I might be a little bit off. I'm usually just kind of getting into the groove of my day. When I come about 12 o'clock, y'all know I get up, have my coffee, my cigar and all that. Matter of fact, after I finish this, I got to go down, finish my cigar so it don't go bad. So Broker Traditions invited me to a vegan cookout today. Yes, midday Kofa. Invited me to a vegan cookout today. So I'm going to try that out, see what's going on with the good brother. I know some watermelon in full effect, bro. You got to have me some watermelon when I fall through. But yeah, I usually get in my rhythm around now. But I usually go live at 7:30, but the holiday does fall on Tuesdays and Thursdays when I normally go live at 7:30. So being that the 4th of July is falling on tomorrow, this Tuesday, I'm not going to go live. I'm not going to try to take up y'all time from your family and all that. Even though I know I'm not the biggest of YouTubers and things like that, I do try to be considerate. I do appreciate everybody who does come in and listen and like and comment and things of that nature. I really do appreciate it. So I try to be considerate of y'all time as well. That's why I'm going on at 12 today. Because I know some of y'all are barbecuing, like I just said. BT invited me out, so I'm going to fall through his spot, kick it, have a good time, talk some more shit. I'm going to leave Toothpick Kofa at the house. But I know some of y'all probably grilling yourself and then going to take off, tomorrow, of course, for the holiday and try to relax with the fam and do whatever you do. But I did want to get this conversation started. I might revisit it again, but I wanted to hit it on the head today. Jonathan Majors, y'all saw the thumbnail, he who laughs last. The brother is not out of the woods yet. I think they dropped the major charge of strangulation, but some of the other charges are still pending. However, he filed his own countersuit. So now his ex is the police are either considering arresting her or have arrested her. I've heard, and seen and read some conflicting reports. We are going to get into a Yahoo article. Then I'm going to play, if you guys remember, Brandon, the actor Jason Mitchell, who played Brandon on The Chi when it first aired. I think the first 2 seasons, he had a tiff with a couple of one female co-worker in particular. Not necessarily co-worker. I think she was what they call a showrunner. So I guess like a stagehand, so to speak. But he ended up getting let go from The Chi. And then a couple of other jobs, I believe his management dropped him. So it's very similar what happened to him prior to Jonathan Majors that's going on with Jonathan Majors now. You know, hell, the Army dropped him, his management dropped him. Disney's, you know, there's been some rumors kind of floating around that Disney may let him go. He just killed the role of Kang in Ant-Man 3, and it looked like he was going to be a staple in the Marvel universe. So now that's in question behind an allegation, right? So they're saying the woman had bruises on her, things like that. So he's filing his countersuit. What it boils down to, because I've been in those situations where the chick is drunk. And this is where I warn brothers, when they're drunk, belligerent like that, I don't even like to be around. I told y'all, stop sleeping with drunk women. Stop even trying to flirt and sleep with buzzed women. I know that's kind of hard to do in this day and age, especially during the summer. Like here in Atlanta, people love brunch. People love day parties. People are day drinking and everybody's feeling good and the music's going until that accusation comes out, until a female uses the trigger word of, I didn't feel comfortable. That's all it takes. I didn't feel comfortable. I didn't feel safe. Now the guy can get accused. Now he's a grapist. He's a creep. It's part of grape culture. Everything under the sun. And then I always ask that question. Y'all heard me say it here before. How do you disprove a negative? Something that did not take place. How does he prove that this didn't take place? Shout out to the lead attorney. He often speaks, if you guys don't follow him here on YouTube, he's a 20-year divorce attorney. He's retired now, but he always speaks from the context of when he was in court handling these divorce cases, how the men just basically lay down and just take it, right? Whatever the woman says goes, whatever, just to make her happy, just to get her off of his back, things like that. And he even said it, bro, you're going to have to start being as cold-blooded as these women. So I'm proud of Jonathan Majors for filing a countersuit and fighting for his reputation. And I really want him to somehow come out of this unscathed and turn around and sue these other people that have dropped him and start suing people for defamation of character, because that's all it takes is an accusation. And like I tell brothers all the time, black men, but across the board, if it can happen to a white man, bro, what do you think they're gonna do to your black ass? So I need men, period, black men in particular, to start being more cautious of the women you deal with. And I know everybody said with Jonathan Majors, oh, he should have left that white girl alone. We got story after story after story after story of a black woman doing this to a black man. Jason Mitchell is one of them. I'll kind of give some buffer backstory when I get into his part of it, because he speaks on the Jonathan Majors situation. That's why I'm bringing him back up, because we haven't seen this brother really doing any films in years, and he was slowly on his way up. I don't think he would have been a leading man. He wasn't that type of guy, but a staple in, black acting. We should be seeing this brother. He's extremely talented. I was going to pull his Breakfast Club interview from years ago, but I did decide to go with Vlad, because Vlad just did a more recent interview with him 2 weeks ago. Don't worry about the copyright strike. I put pictures over it, but we'll get into it. But let me slide back over to the comments. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button when you come in. I forgot the housekeeping. Take your shoes off when you come in my house. Hit the like button. It's free. Subscriptions are also free, and they are much appreciated. If I have to earn it, that's fine. But you might as well go ahead and hit the subscribe button, because the work is going to continue. Let me slide over here to these comments. I think we had some more people come in. Felicia H in the building. What's going on, sis?
You go, girl.
Appreciate you being in here. Salty Fighter Biker in here.
Man down. Mama, there goes that man.
JT, Joe Townsend in the building.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
I appreciate you all being in here. Again, make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Share this. Go ahead and share it to your Facebook or whatever other socials. Tell people to come in and fuck with your boy. But let's go. First thing I want to pull up is this Google search I did on Jonathan Majors. So the most recent story is that strangulation charge was dropped, and that his ex-girlfriend was going to get arrested, right? That was the most recent. Y'all see, I had to take a screenshot 1 day ago. So yesterday, when I pulled up his name, all the articles that came up had nothing to do with the charge being dropped, with his girlfriend being arrested. I want brothers to focus in on this part, because even as the story starts to change in your favor, they still got to vilify you. Look at this one from the first one, CBS News: assault trial for actor. New York Times: NYPD has evidence to arrest woman who said Jonathan Majors hit her. That was 2 days ago. That's the only thing that popped up, right? Jonathan Majors' extreme abuse allegedly goes back nearly a decade. This is all stuff where they're still talking about his alleged actions. And my question is, if it goes back that far in this Me Too era that has been going on for so long at this point now, why wasn't he arrested before? Why was he getting major roles? We got to start looking at the little nuances, reading in between the lines. If he was such a problem, if they could bring down Bill Cosby behind some stuff that happened 30, 40, 50 years ago, literally, all this stuff that they're saying about this brother that's been going on a while, why would they keep casting him when there's several other solid black male actors out there they could have cast in these different roles? Other one, USA Today: Jonathan Majors arrest. New report alleges physical, emotional abuse. Because guess what? Damn near the day after he filed his countersuit, now he has like 2 more exes coming out talking about, you guessed it, Me Too. Washington Post, another reputable source: Jonathan Majors trial, what we know and what we don't know. Nothing is I shrank that on accident. Open it. There we go. Jonathan Majors go down to AV Club. Jonathan Majors report alleges domestic violence, volatile onset behavior, on and on and on. Bring it back on me real quick. But y'all see what's still out there, what's still floating around. Now, granted, like I said initially, brother isn't out of the woods yet, but he's fighting back. Term used loosely. He's fighting back. He's filed a countersuit, alleging that she was every bit as abusive. And a lot of times I tell brothers, and it doesn't negate the fact if you put your hands on her or whatever like that. I'm gonna expound on that real quick in a second. If you put your hands on her, but a lot of times these women give as good as they get, if not initiate the physical violence. So when I say even put your hands on her, if she's swinging, going crazy, throwing shit, trying to, push you or mush you in the face and stuff like that, and you just even grab her hands, grab her arms, her wrists or whatever, you literally, the definition, you just put your hands on her. But people will hear that, especially the police. They will hear, well, did you put your hands on her? Yes, I did. I tried to stop her from hitting me, but they compute that as I punched her in the face. I pushed her down. I shoved her. I yoked her up. I choked her. All that type of stuff. That's the way they hear that if you put your hands on her. And when you put your hands on her, all you really were doing was trying to protect your damn self. But people don't read into that. And I tell brothers all the time, they be like, oh man, you a bitch, you a weak ass dude, this, that, and the third. When it boiled down to it, women have one of these too. It's called a trigger finger. Women have deleted men, have set men up to get robbed, have flat out lied on men. There was somebody that came in my comments when I mentioned the Chicago incident. I had made a post here on YouTube, and it was like, well, this doesn't happen as often as we like to think it is, as far as women being, lippy and stuff like that. I said it happens all the time. This is just the one that hit the major news. But nobody's there to support the guy, support the brother. When he walks away, he's weak. If he stays and lets her talk to him like that, then he's weak for that. We know if you raise your hand, I've said it here several times, the same list. If he raises his hand, of course, we all agree that that's wrong. But at what point, at what step can he take to protect himself? At what point going down that checklist is a man allowed to protect himself? He's not supposed to countersue. He's not supposed to do any of that. I was going to bring up all the Twitter comments, all the different social comments about Jonathan Majors, but that would belabor the point. We know how a lot of women, black women in particular, feel about him dating a white girl, and oh, that's what he get. I want brothers to pay attention to that type of talk, especially you wokety woke motherfuckers. He deserves it because he was dating outside of his race. So essentially, you're telling me that this brother deserves to be lynched. That's what y'all saying. He deserved whatever bad thing befalls him. But black woman after black woman after black woman can fuck thug after thug after thug, pump out bastard child after bastard child. And oh, she just made a poor choice. She was going through something. We start talking about mental health. She don't deserve any of the bad things. And I say it all the time, like Theo Coop says all the time. You don't deserve shit. It's what you earn. Your poor ass choices earned you something from this particular person. You knew he was volatile, but you stayed with him because the dick was good. So you earned that ass whooping that he gave you. It's not right, but that's the type of work that you were willing to put in. That's the type of patience you were willing to exercise. And then when it comes back full circle, it's a problem. If it's a black man just dating outside of his race, now he deserves whatever negativity comes from that. Again, how do you disprove a negative? Because we've seen it several times where black women's mouths have gotten brothers fucked up. Slide over here. We're going to go ahead and get into... first thing we're going to get into is the Yahoo article I found because they actually expounded on it. So let me go ahead and share this screen with y'all. That's blank. Dumbass Kofa. Bam. All right, there we go. So it's two articles, right? I'm not going to read this other one. I got to drop it in the, forgot to drop it in the description of the video, but I will go back and drop it in the description. But this is from The Cut. This article is very lengthy, but we'll get through the titles real quick. Jonathan Majors accused of abusing two more ex-girlfriends, but they kind of fleshed things out. Why was he arrested? How has he responded? How has the public responded? This is a really long article, so I'm going to drop the link in the description at the end of the video. That way you can go back and read at your leisure if this interests you. What fallout has Major faced? What's happening with the charges? On and on and on. Y'all see it keeps going. It keeps going. It's a long article. But I do want to read this one out loud. Again, I am not insulting anyone's intelligence. Let me shrink this a little bit. Give me 1 second. I'm not insulting anyone's intelligence when I'm reading. I know you guys are driving. You're busy. You prepping the food for the grill, different things like that. But let's go ahead and read this. This is from Yahoo. And his ex-girlfriend may face arrest as domestic violence case takes a new turn. The NYPD has evidence to arrest the woman who accused the Ant-Man 3 star of assault. Cool. The NYPD may arrest Jonathan Majors' accuser, according to multiple reports. It's a surprising turn of events involving the Marvel star, whose promising career has been sidelined amid domestic violence allegations. Again, Majors was arrested in March on assault and harassment charges as his ex-girlfriend Grace Jabbari claims she was attacked. The 33-year-old actor's lawyer has maintained he was a victim, and it appears some within the police department agree. The news comes as Anthony Mackie offered Majors public words of encouragement. Shout out to Anthony Mackie for that. I know some of the more suspect roles the brother has played. If those of you who don't know who Anthony Mackie is, he looks like he's going to be gearing up to be the Black Captain America, also within the Marvel universe. Shout out to that brother, a great actor in his own right. But shout out to him for throwing some support. This is the other thing. Amid these accusations, we saw the bromance, the brotherhood that Majors and Michael B. Jordan were having, right? Solid brother contact. They call, they talk. And I don't know, Mike may be talking to him in the back end. He just can't throw it out there publicly because he's also a rising star in his own right. So we have to be fair across the board. But it just kind of fucked up that these type of allegations and charges can totally throw off your support system, which is rare for a lot of brothers to even have, especially from other black men. So this rising star in Michael B. Jordan, in and of himself, he can't publicly support his homeboy. I'm quite sure he's probably supporting him on the backside. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. But the fact that he can't come out publicly and say that because he may face backlash. because accusation for a black man is damn near a guilty verdict, basically. Let's keep reading. Majors filed a cross complaint accusing Jabbari of slapping and scratching him when she was drunk and hysterical, according to the Insider. A new report on Thursday, the New York Times cited 3 sources who said the NYPD believes there is enough evidence to support Jabbari's arrest. Yahoo Entertainment can confirm the NYPD found probable cause to arrest Jabbari after Majors met with the NYPD last week. So now he has to go back and meet with them to even like, hey, we got to clear this up. And let me say this, I think they mentioned it in the article, his attorney does. When it's a domestic violence situation and the NYPD shows up, this must be a New York law. It's probably across several other states. Somebody has to get arrested. By somebody, it's usually going to be the male. Black, white, regardless. Unless she is just straight up and down, fuck this guy up. And sometimes, even in those situations, the police will only arrest the male and call it removing him for his own protection, or he's not under arrest, he's being detained. They'll play with these words all the time, brothers. So please pay attention to shit like this. I know these are celebrities, but I talk about it because I'm able to scale it down to the day-to-day rank and file average brother, because so many of us go through this and don't say shit and refuse to fucking fight sometimes because, man, I just want to get this shit over with. We're afraid to go to court for obvious reasons. I understand what this country was built on. I get it. I get it. Woke Kofa isn't going to show up today, but I get it. But, bro, you got to start fighting back on paper. Start speaking up. Start telling your side of the story. Because if you don't, it's only going to be her narrative. Let's get back to the article. A rep for the NYPD only tells Yahoo Entertainment that an investigation is ongoing related to the incident and there are no arrests at this time. So you can't believe everything on socials. Last week, Majors appeared in court with girlfriend, actress Megan Good, by his side, while a trial date was set for August 3rd. The Manhattan DA's office is moving forward with its case against the actor. Our investigation and case into the assault charges against Mr. Majors remains ongoing, spokesperson Doug Cohen tells Yahoo. Excuse me, y'all. Major's defense team is pressuring the DA's office to bring charges against Jabbari. You see that? They got to put pressure on her because he is who he is. He's the black man in this, and he's the famous one. Mr. Majors has been asking for justice as the victim here, and he deserves to have his assailant arrested and brought to court to face the charges against her. Priya Chaudhry explains to Yahoo in a statement on Thursday. All along, the DA has been insisting that it won't give Mr. Major special treatment because he is high profile. Now that the NYPD, who has actually investigated Ms. Jabbari, is ready to arrest her, I certainly hope the DA will not delay prosecution of Ms. Jabbari due to the high-profile nature of this case. That would be hypocritical, unfair, and unjust. We are grateful to the detectives of the NYPD and look forward to justice for Mr. Majors. That's his attorney talking. She got to do damage control. She has to massage the words. Again, she's representing him. He can't even speak out on his own behalf. Jabbari's attorney, Brad Edwards, tells the Times that there is no reason to arrest his client, and he's seen nothing reliable indicating that an agency has developed a different opinion. You see how the attorneys are doing things? The attorneys represent their clients, y'all. Brothers, you got to get some ammo. You got to get some backup of yourself. You see, these are 2 attorneys. They probably got similar backgrounds. They have the same job title, different, similar credentials, things of that nature. They done both passed the bar to practice law in New York, but they're going to ride for their client. I'm telling you, as a paralegal, when we sit behind these doors and we have these conversations, I got to take notes and put together questions and different things like that, because guess what? The paralegal does do some of that work. When we're putting these things together, when we're having a meeting of the minds in these offices, one of the first questions that's asked consistently is, how can we spend this? I'm going to say that again. How can we spend this? How can we massage these words? How can we represent our client to the best of our ability to make them look like they haven't done shit? And defense attorneys, a lot of times, they know their client will be guilty of something, and they'll still ride it out. And that doesn't mean Majors is guilty. That could mean Jabbari is guilty. But people don't take that in consideration. Again, brothers, please be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Keep your mind on a swivel. When you see she start acting a little bit out of pocket, cut the conversation short. Everybody want to talk about this emotional intelligence and all this other shit. Cut the conversation short, bro. Walk away. Let cooler heads prevail. Don't even get to the point where you are upset. Learn to walk away. Learn to leave and not feel bad. Don't feel like less of a man. Don't listen to a lot of these silly motherfuckers on YouTube or social media or even in your own goddamn life, family included. Have your ass sticking and staying in a situation that is not going to benefit you. It only takes one time, and then you're going to spend the rest of your life trying to defend yourself against some shit that didn't happen. Once again, how do you disprove a negative? Go ahead and wrap this up. Let's see. This is Jabbari's attorney continuing. In fact, we understand the criminal case against Mr. Majors is proceeding as expected. Edwards continued. Out of respect for the criminal process and the prosecuting attorneys who will make decisions based on the evidence, we do not intend to respond to rumors. But Majors has to, right? Jabbari and Majors were in a relationship for several years, according to the Times. She worked as a movement coach alongside the actor on Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania, which was released in February. So this happens. He gets a major blockbuster in February, right? Turns around, gets arrested in March because she done had a little bit, one too many sips. 3 months ago, the former apparently couple got into an argument on the drive back to the actor's residence in New York City. Jabbari claimed Majors broke her finger and lacerated her ear, but the actor's attorney said they provided the court with irrefutable evidence this was a lie. Majors claimed the driver of the vehicle will testify that it was the actor who was attacked. Jabbari went clubbing after the supposed first altercation. Hours later, she arrived back at Major's residence, but he was not home. So all this shit happened, and she still took her ass back to his apartment. When he arrived, he purportedly found her unconscious and half naked in the walk-in closet. His defense team believes she sustained injuries when she passed out. Majors has lost multiple projects due to allegations, but Marvel has not officially cut ties. The actor who made his debut as supervillain Kang the Conqueror earlier this year is integral to the MCU. He's set to reprise the role on multiple projects leading up to 2025 Avengers, the Kang Dynasty. Fellow Marvel star Mackie was recently asked about the situation with Majors. We're a country that was built on everyone is innocent until proven guilty, he told Inverse for a profile published on Wednesday. That's one of the staples of this country. Nothing has been proven about this dude, nothing. So everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That's all I can say. It's crazy where we are as a society. But as a country, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Bring it back on me. Get to y'all comments. Negro Dackle, just subscribe. Salute. I appreciate you. You get all three.
Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man. Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
And
knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Get through some of y'all comments. Auntie in the building. What's going on, Sean?
You go, girl!
Salty Fighter Biker says, come on, that situation was caused by not one, but two toxic ass women. Black men are doomed, and the women are selling us out, wanting to see us suffer no matter how small.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Yep. I mean, how many times? I don't know how many times we can say it, Salty. I don't know how many times we can really say it, bro. Auntie says, these hoes are ridiculous with their behavior. It don't take but one incident. I tell brothers they gotta have the heads up, man. You got to be cognizant of this shit. Again, shout out to Negro Dactyl. Corey Joe in the building. Y'all make sure y'all go and subscribe to bruh. He has been a supporter, A1 from day one when I was really getting cranked up on here. So y'all go support.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Stephen Dunn says, I suspect that many black women low-key want him to be found guilty.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Mona D in the building. Shout out to Mona again. She hit her 1,000 subs. Get that goddamn money, sis.
You go, girl!
Yes. As y'all come in, take your shoes off when you come in the house. Hit the like button. It's free. Brokerage This says, I bet you she's probably jealous of his career taking off or her career isn't. Some women are in competition with their man. That's a big fact, bro. I've been having conversations lately with a lot of sisters about that. I know we talking about this white girl, but in general, it's a female mindset. I'm in competition with you instead of collaborating with you and building. This why this space on YouTube, even when we disagree, argue, bicker back and forth, beef, even when we beefing amongst men, Dr. T.H. said something so profound the other night. This is the only space where I've seen black men come collectively in years and voice our opinions. I don't remember another time where it was a collective voice of brothers from different backgrounds, different experiences coming in one space, even though it's not our platform, but we're slowly building to that. This is the only space I've seen that I can remember. I'll speak for me, but shout out Dr. T.H. for that, because I really sat and chewed on it and thought about it. For me, this is the first time I've seen this in my lifetime, where it's different topics, different focuses, whether it's business, whether it's relationships, spirituality, just building each other as men, no matter how much little nitpicky shit is going on. This is the first place I've seen in my 41 years of life where black men are coming together and vocalizing what we've been dealing with. Not social media. Social media is cool. Those are posts. And we're talking about video after video after video, conversation after conversation after conversation. This is the first and only place I've seen. And I wish all them brothers well on their platforms. Whoever has it bigger than me, smaller than me, same level as me, whatever the case may be, I wish all them brothers well, because we're not a monolith, right? We got different pockets of different things. I just want people to be well. Like I said, growth for me is helping men find a positive. Fuck it. Not over drinking, not over drugging, not over smoking, not over sexing, not none of the shit that we think is making us feel better, because a lot of us are in our feelings. You do shit to make you feel better instead of being better. Keep growing. Let me see where I leave off. Salty says, whenever I can't fix a disagreement with my wife, I walk away, understanding that when I die, she will finally realize that anytime I open my mouth was to get closer to her, protect her.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Sorry for the sniffles, y'all. I know, again, y'all always wonder, it's hot as hell, Kofa. Why the fuck you got that hoodie and hat on in the house? My AC vent is right above my desk. I'm not in one of my bigger rooms in the house. It's right above my head. So that shit is, y'all see this damn baldy. So I might have to sniffle sometime. Let's see. And then if I turn it off, the window's right here, so the sun beaming through, I'm gonna be in this bitch cooking. So damned if I do, damned if I don't. I had to pick my poison. Sean says, what you're saying is ever so true about your innocence. These people will destroy your life. And it's fucked up. He got to spend his time fighting against this instead of working. I think I'm pretty much caught up on the comments. Yeah, Steven says, I'm in monk mode. Feels great. I am too right now, bro. I ain't gonna cap. I got some stuff I got to focus on, and women just not a part of that. However, I will be going to Medellin soon. I'm going to have my fun there. I sure the fuck am. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. But I'm in monk mode right now. I'm really focused right now on not just the channel, but as far as work. I've said it several times on here, man. I'm like 5-6 years away from retirement from the Army, and I can touch that bitch. I'm gonna hold on to it and until I get there. So that's my focus. I won't be in monk mode 5 or 6 years, but right now I got some stuff I got to knock out. So now I'm on a pivot. I want to get into this Jason Mitchell interview with Vlad. I know everybody has, their feelings about Vlad being the popo and all that shit, but this was more recent than the Breakfast Club interview from years ago. This was like 2 weeks ago, and Jason Mitchell kind of speaks on the Jonathan Major situation. And let me give some background about Jason Mitchell. He was on The Chi, and I know a lot of reports came out back to back to back about the brother spazzing out and shit like that. What happened was he had found out one of his best friends had got deleted. So he was emotional that day, but he had to hop on the flight, go to Chicago, and record. He had to go to work. He had just found out one of his brothers was gone, not coming back. So he was emotional when he got to the airport, and the flight attendant was kind of nitpicky with him. So they got into it. Somebody called it, put it on TMZ. He goes to work, completes this scene. It's an emotional scene. And he says normally he's able to do an emotional scene and just boom, go back to being Jason. And he's okay. But that day, because that shit was on his mind about his friend being deleted, he did the emotional scene, and even after, he was still like walk around set, and he'll just have to pull over to the side, kind of sit himself down, and he would be crying. So the one person that came and checked on was this black female, one of the showrunners. She came and checked on the brother and was basically like, "Hey, are you okay? You all right? Blah 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 blah." And he was like, "Yeah." So he just kind of told her what happened, whatnot. Later on during the day, now there's a crowd of people around, everybody else is around, and she said something, hey, like out loud where people can hear it. And this is why I tell brothers, walk the fuck away, because women will do this shit, black, white, otherwise. They know you in a vulnerable state, they'll just pick. They'll pick. So there's other people around, and she basically says to him, hey, are you okay? We don't want you going home and self-medicating. After he had already told her what he was dealing with. So she did this shit to try to embarrass him, because obviously people see his eyes probably red, puffy, things of that nature. So he was like, basically like, why the fuck would you even say that right now? So they got into it. He ended up cussing the bitch out, because that's what she is, doing that shit. Not a sister, not a queen. Ended up cussing that bitch out. All of a sudden, here come HR. One incident. So he has to explain all this shit, ends up getting let go from the show. But this is the thing that a lot of people don't know. That same female that accused him of being aggressive and shit like that, she was let go for being toxic. There was also accusations of some type of, sexual aggression with his co-star, the chick that played his girlfriend at the time, and she didn't feel comfortable. And again, there's that word again. She didn't feel comfortable. None of this shit stuck as far as a charge. If he was that bad, where are the charges at? Where's the conviction for the charges? He was just simply let go, and they ruined his reputation. Because he was also filming for a Netflix movie, they let him go behind an accusation. Then his management let him go, and we really haven't seen the brother doing any what I consider real work on the trajectory he was already going. We haven't seen him in a while, in some years, since these accusations. But just want to give that kind of a backstory. Peace, Jay Will in here. Appreciate you, brother. Gary Nichols said we are already divided, but a lot of these men talk, women talk shows will continue to make us more divided. I don't think we can get any more divided than we already are, Gary. That's just my personal opinion, because again, women had the microphone for 50 years. This is the first time brothers are actually coming out telling our side of the story. If we don't tell our side of the story, it's not going to balance the conversation, because women talk more and they talk more often. They often have a badass habit of fucking lying. They put 100 on 10, where something is a 10, and then they make it seem like it's fucking worse. So then that becomes the narrative. If we're constantly hearing the same type of narrative, the saying, well, if 3 people say it about you, it must be true. That's not always the fucking case. Because a lot of people that are being spoken bad about, they can't even defend themselves. As I've said a couple of times already through here, how do you disprove a negative? And then that person finds himself, because I did it, that person finds himself digging their heels in, trying to overprove they're not this bad person. And nobody gives a damn. So I think men need to keep having these conversations. Stephen Dunn said she did that shit deliberately. She did. She did just to try to embarrass him. But let's get into this interview. I did the magic trick, so I shouldn't get a copyright strike. So fair use is just the audio, but let's run it.
Well, when you look at what happened to you, and you look at what's happening with Jonathan Majors, who arguably is the hottest actor in Hollywood right now.
Right.
I mean, like, as someone on a trajectory, I mean, he's now Kang the Conqueror and Marvel and getting leading roles and everything else like that. And suddenly, one bad night with his girlfriend, everything changed. I mean, in fact, everyone's sort of waiting to see what Disney's going to do. There's rumors that Disney actually might recast him for Kang, which would be devastating. Absolutely devastating.
You know,
I'm not saying the situation is the same between you guys, but there are similarities in terms of at a high level. When you look at that situation, what do you think?
I think that, like, it's sad that we don't have a support system that helps us develop as men as we develop as stars, because they don't care about you at all. You know what I mean? Hollywood does not care about you. You can't call them and say, hey, I'm having a bad night. You know, I'm scared that, you know, my girlfriend may do this or do that, or I'm scared that, you know, people are around me and this is the wrong influence. Like, they don't care about any of that. There's no soft skills training. There's no grooming to the back end of becoming a star, but you have to go live your real life the majority of that time. And I just think that it's very scary that, like, when you're at the height of everything, you're such a target, and people don't think it's imperative that a wall is built around you, because it is, you know?
I'm gonna pause it real quick. This doesn't just go for Hollywood. This is the rank and file, day-to-day, average brother going to work. Who's there? That's why it's important to keep telling these stories, bro. This is why it's important to have these conversations. Y'all can clown brothers for not getting pussy, not being that nigga, all that shit. When it boils down to it, there are solid ass men out here that are being worked to a nub and broken every day. And if you the type of person to turn around and say, well, he needs to fix that, then I need you to shut the fuck up on the back end when he does fix it and he does get that passport, or he does go fuck with somebody outside the community, or he doesn't vote Democrat. When he isn't black enough for your motherfucking ass, because the same goddamn community that was not there for him, he's supposed to still fucking support. He's still supposed to be respectful of the women that turn their back on him. He's still supposed to be respectful and ready to lock and step in brotherhood with some brothers that wouldn't piss on him if he was on fire. This is our fucked up ass mentality. Keep having the fucking stories, y'all. Keep sharing your stories. Stop. Get rid of the shame. Get rid of the guilt. Get rid of the embarrassment. First things first, as black men, forgive yourself, bro. If you was the asshole, forgive yourself for being the asshole. But I don't believe I'm talking to a lot of brothers that were assholes. I believe I'm talking to a lot of brothers that may be broken or have taken an L. Forgive yourself for I had to forgive myself. I'll speak about Kofa. I had to forgive me for being nice, but too nice, too kind-hearted. And as soon as I started turning that goddamn corner, I was never this motherfucking tyrant. It became a problem. People have a problem with solid ass good men of means saying no. Now you're selfish. Now you don't support anybody. Now you don't love the community. You don't love black women. All this type of shit. But you've been you don't put everybody else's weight on your motherfucking shoulders. You've been that person they can call at 3:00 in the goddamn morning if they needed help. A brother, a sister, don't matter. You've already been that guy. We never have that conversation. Kofa will be that voice. I think this is my niche in this pocket for the guys that never get that credit for having already done the right thing. We love telling young boys to do the right thing and this, but it yields no result. I say so many of them end up in the street because guess what? they don't see the benefits of being a good black man. Part of that is the women. Guys are going to talk their shit. The women are not only going to talk that shit, they're going to act it out by dealing with guys that are totally opposite of the good black man. I'm going to let it keep running, but I just wanted to put that in there. He's speaking on Hollywood and his experience. That's his job. I want you to think about yours. And I got another video to bring that shit home after this one. Let's keep going.
Your agency isn't going to sit you down and say, you need to leave the Hollywood parties alone. Make sure you're not around any drug addicts. Make sure you're not in the car with any bullshit. Make sure you stay away from these females. They're not going to have this talk with you. You know what I mean? And then the female who you've been knowing since you were 15 years old now can't handle where you are in life. And the first thing that they can think is, let me bring you down. Because it's the easiest thing for them to go to. It's the easiest adjustment for them to make. It's for them to bring you back down to their level. And I just feel like, you know, it's just such a tragedy, you know what I mean? Because like when Jonathan Majors won, we all won. When Michael B. Jordan win, we all win. You know, and it's like we all lose when things like that happen. So I don't understand why after all these things that we've seen happen and go wrong, that we're not having these sidebar conversations that ultimately is building this wall around people. You know what I mean? Like when that situation happened with Will Smith and Chris Rock, the way Denzel and those other guys came and put that wall around him for a minute and talked to him and like, hey, you know what I mean? True enough, they was a little bit late, you know what I mean? But like, you know.
Now he's speaking to the brotherhood. That's why I just spoke on. Wanted to stop real quick, acknowledge Stewart's comment. Most just don't think it would happen to them.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Black men, stop moving like females. Stop moving like females. That's a woman's train of thought. You'll make up some shit in your brain. It because you made it up and imagined it. Now all of a sudden it's true. That's some shit some women do. Stop acting like women, bro. You have to be cognizant and understand where you are, who you're dealing with. It could happen to you, bro. You don't got to be famous. You don't got to have some name. You don't got to be the popular dude around the way. It could happen to you. Be aware of that shit. Stop acting and thinking and moving like women. And truthfully, stop listening to a lot of women. If she is truly not in that position of a helpmate, whether it's your wife, your girlfriend, women are great. They can see our blind spots and things like that. But please start paying attention, including to the women in your life. The way they talk about other men, guess what? The women you're out here dating, that's how those women are talking about you. You think mama, grandmama, sister, auntie is great. Those are the women in your life. They love your black ass. And sometimes you don't even get that for real, for real. They love you as a black man. But listen to how they talk about the other men that they deal with. Stop and think for a second. If mama, grandmama, auntie, big sister, with all that fucking great, why the fuck your ass grew up in a household of women, couldn't none of them hold no goddamn man down? You can blame the men all day, but you got to start looking at these people's choices. Women they're not stupid. I've said it here before. They're not your enemy. Women aren't stupid. They make poor ass choices and they get a vag pass a lot. And we give them that shit. But we'll see that shit and then we'll pick up their traits and we start thinking like that. Well, I'm a good dude. Wouldn't nobody do that to me. You're a good dude, bro. You blood in the water for a shark. It'll 9 times out of 10 happen to you before it happened to a fuck ass nigga. Let's keep going.
In essence, like that's what should really be happening. We should be protecting our own instead of getting out there and say, you know what he should have did, blah, 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 blah. You know what this happened, blah, 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 blah. He shouldn't have been messing with a white girl. He shouldn't, like, to me, that was just so sad to see. You know what I mean? Like, I reached out to him and I just sent my love. You know what I mean? Because that's all you could do. Like, who knows what that's like? You think
you and Jonathan Majors know each other?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So have you guys talked since that happened?
No.
Okay.
I
You
sent
just sent him a text and
message.
said, okay, you're
Yeah,
going
and I
through it right
backed off
now.
because I
That's
can only
that. Yeah.
imagine, like who wants to talk about it? You know what I mean? Like, what are you gonna call
Yeah.
and say? So tell me what happened. Like, not, you know, he's probably paranoid. Like, you
Yeah.
know, like doesn't feel like he can trust anybody, and that's what this will do to you. Like, it'll jade you super hard. You know what I mean? And it'll have you feeling very reclusive. You know what I mean? Like, that's all you can really do is just tuck your tail after that. You know what I mean? Because there's nobody here to say anything great on your behalf, because the industry might potentially cut them off. You know, I remember having a conversation with Issa Rae where she was like, man, this industry's so fucked up that like the people who really want to work with you can't even work with you. Cause now they, you know what I mean? This is probably why Lena Waithe jumped out and was like, oh, we'll never work with him again. You know, even though she didn't
Want y'all to
mean that. You know what I mean? She who really want to work with you can't even work with you. Cause now they, you know what I mean? This is probably why Lena Waithe jumped out and was like, oh, we'll never work with him again. You know, even though she didn't even mean that. You know what I mean?
remember when Lena Waithe, she created the Shy. You know, she sold it to Showtime or whatever, but she's still involved with, you know, I don't know if she's a producer or whatever, or a writer, but she's still involved with the show. But because her name and face is out there, she had to come out and say, oh, we'll never work with Jason again. What do you think that did to his reputation? It further bruised his reputation. Oh, the person that hired him doesn't want to work with him. This wasn't just an isolated incident. And, oh, he's so toxic and this, that, and the third. The rumor started. We haven't really seen that brother working like we were seeing him working since then. Again, people will come out and make public statements to not fuck with you. How many gonna make a public statement to show your support? Let's keep going.
And she called me crying about that. I take it back, Jason. I'm so sorry. I just didn't know. Like, we don't know. I wasn't on set. I don't know what happened. And I'm like,
I'm gonna pause it again. She wasn't on set when that shit went down, but she called him on the back channel to say, oh, I'm sorry. Listen, the support needs to be as loud as the disrespect. Say that again. The support needs to be as loud as the disrespect. But he got a phone call afterward. Let's keep. So what do you think Jonathan Major's going? He just said it. I sent him a text and I left it at that. Because who wants to talk about this? Send him a text. I let him know I'm there for him. Because I know not too many people will really want to talk about it. Let's keep going, y'all. Brothers, tell your stories. Support each other in public and behind closed doors. We can't keep talking about doing business, having meetings of the mind, and then basically let women derail this shit. We're gonna have to go back to some mafia shit. The women don't even have no business being involved. And I truly mean that from the bottom of my heart. Because when men get together, men, not tall 12-year-olds, not little boys talking shit, when men get together and build shit, it usually works out to society's benefit. But let's keep going.
you know, it is what it is. But it's so sad to see some of this stuff, man. It's really sad. I'm just glad that, you know, I got close enough to feel how hot the fire was without being burned. That way I could not only make adjustments in my own life, but, you know, as people come in through my program and, you know, people that we work with, I could constantly mentor them and give them those soft skills and make sure that wall is built around them. Like I'm just starting with myself, bro. You know, staying positive and just being the man that I wish was my friend when I was going through all of this, you know? So just taking it one day at a time.
Pause that real quick. Y'all heard what he just said just then. I got to be who I needed at that time. Brothers, he said something else. It will jade you. It will make you bitter. It will turn you into a recluse. Because guess what? Once again, how do you disprove a negative? I could come out and say, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent, I'm innocent all day. Unfortunately, I've heard from black women and black men That nigga did something. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but there we go again. Start making up shit in our brain that's true because we made it up. If you can get that goddamn creative, go write a book, write a script, make the movie. If you're going to be that creative about somebody's real life and have the audacity to say that shit out loud to the point it becomes the narrative about this person, shame on you. But if you that fucking creative, go create something. But it's so many brothers out here that won't do that. That's another niche of mine that I'm going to start focusing on. These popular niggas that just dress the part, talk the part, all that shit, they ain't got a stitch of manhood in their body, in my opinion. Because if you can't sharpen iron with another man, what kind of man are you? When you need all the fucking attention, what kind of man are you? Because it was so many other black men. It wasn't just black women. It was brothers too. Like, man, that nigga did something. Because ain't no woman going to do blah, 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 blah. We refuse to get all the facts. Let me shout out Roker Traditions real quick before we continue with the video. He just dropped a video on Jonathan Majors as well, where he was talking about, you know, basically content integrity for us as content creators, not just hopping on the first thing because it's hot. It's a hot topic. It's going to get me views and likes and shit like that. We let a little bit of time pass. That's why I'm speaking on it now. Because guess what? More information came out. Did that with Chicago, right? More information came out. We saw the video. The video dropped the day I was going to talk about it. And even then, I said the brother was wrong for punching the sister, but he should not be dead. That was my stance on it. With all the information, with more information coming out. Because what was initially reported was just this woman got into an argument with a guy and texted her son to come in and blast him. That's not what happened. She was attacked. But again, why was this 14-year-old in that position? I'm not going to pivot and talk about that. But I'm just giving examples from what Broken Tradition was saying. He's 100% right. We got to let some more of this information come out. We got to let the truth come out. And now it's years later. Again, this interview with Vlad was 2 weeks ago. It's years later. This brother is now fleshing out everything. It was months, maybe a year after he had got let go from the Chi that he was on the Breakfast Club. That was like 5 years ago. Start telling your stories. If anything today, brother, start sharing your story. You're going to be the villain in somebody's story. At least be the fucking hero in your own. Or as I prefer to be, the anti-hero, or a Deadpool or Wolverine or some goddamn body. I'm a good dude. I'm not going to fuck with you. But when it's time to go to war, I'm going to scorch the earth. You are the author of your own story, black men. Start telling your fucking story, bro. Stop holding that shit. Again, like I say, me talking, helping me, helping another brother. And 3, I'm going to talk this shit because you can't whoop my ass like you think you can. So tell your fucking stories. Somebody's going to give you pushback at some point. But you'll be surprised at how many people actually fuck with you and pull you to the side and thank you. I went through the same thing. Start encouraging each other to share the stories. Help each other flesh that shit out for what you did right and what you did wrong and what you can correct. Because regardless, none of us are that bad. I don't think anybody in my timeline out here graping women on the back end. You might be an asshole. You might be short on patience. Whatever the case may be. You might be cheap as fuck. You might be a hit it and quit it guy, but at least you're not out here beating women, graping women, robbing old people, and touching on kids. That I'm pretty fucking sure of. So those little nuances of just being a better man, we can work with. This shit really ain't that hard, y'all. You keep going.
Well, there was more drama with the show after you left. Barton Fitzpatrick, he ended up leaving the show. The rumor was because, you know, the storyline moved into him having a relationship with a trans actress. And then later on, you know, Jasmine Davis, the same trans actress, had her own drama with the show. I guess she left the show because she had, tried to fake her vaccine record.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah. But then she ended up tweeting, said she had to leave because it was a very toxic environment. But I don't know if you still watch the show, but she's not on the show anymore. She just disappeared, and they're like, "Oh, we don't."
I'm gonna pause that. So the two characters on the show he's talking about are the big brother. I think he played Reg or something like that. He was one of the younger kids' older brother in the original series. Those of y'all to watch, because I'm actually a fan of the show. I hate kind of how they started going, but I'm invested now. Fuck it. The storyline changed to him having a trans girlfriend. He said he wasn't with it. Boom, his character gets deleted. He got killed in jail or something like that, or in a drive-by. So boom, he's off the show. The trans woman comes in and plays. I think Luke James ends up being the older brother. He comes in like, oh man, I got to help out now. My middle brother that was looking out for my younger brother, he got deleted, so let me step up. He comes out of jail. This is the storyline, and he has a trans girlfriend. Knows she's trans. All that stuff is what it is. Y'all know the era we in now. I digress. But the sister is trans in real life. The actress that was playing the girlfriend, she left the show because it was toxic. It was rumors that she faked. They just said it, but it was rumors that she faked getting the jab. She faked the paperwork, and they let her go. But she stepped down because she wouldn't get the jab, and then tweeted that she was glad she was out of that toxic environment. So now you got a toxic set, but guess who was the scapegoat the first time? Jason Mitchell. Had to wait months, years on end to tell his side of the story. This is why I tell brothers, tell your side of the story while it's going on. Don't let motherfuckers overtalk you. Don't let motherfuckers scream on you. I'm good for letting them sit there and do that shit, and then I'll ask them, are you finished? And then I'll give my side. I'm not budging when I know I'm not wrong. We might disagree. I might be wrong from your vantage point, but I know what the hell I got going on my side of the fence. So we're not going to do all that, just brothers walking away and being quiet and shit like that. And it's not about arguing and going back and forth, especially with women. It's about telling your side of the story. Because regardless, whether you're right or whether you're wrong, you're still going to be the monster for her. Or for this other brother that want to call you weak and you soft and all that shit. And most of the brothers that are talking this shit, pay attention to who they are. Consider the source. Is he the run-of-the-mill hood dude? Is he the guy that he's going to do anything to please a woman? Even though he looks like the player? A lot of these players, I keep telling y'all, a lot of these players, a lot of these alphas, they do whatever these women say. This is why they brag on getting the box all the time. Because he's going to do whatever she say and says what she likes to hear in order to get the box. That's not a man, in my opinion. But I digress. We're not going to go there. But I wanted to point that out and highlight that part about the shot itself, the set, apparently being toxic. But a black man had to have his career lynched first for all this shit to start trickling down and hear it from a trans woman. And guess what? Nobody cares. Because who created the show? A LGBT sister. So nobody's going to blink an eye. Nobody's going to want to hear from anybody else after toxic because they're always going to point the finger back to Jason Mitchell, which the brother never received any type of charges for any accusation.
Know what happened to her, and
yeah, I actually don't watch any of my stuff. You know what I mean? So I obviously really wasn't watching it after I ended up leaving. Because to me, I'm like watching it as I'm shooting it. You know what I mean? When we have the table reads, like that's the time that I watch it and find out. Like me watching myself on TV is super weird. And hearing my voice, I'm like, oh my God. Like I look and sound so much different to myself. You know what I mean? So
no, I feel you. I got to deal with the same thing. Hearing my voice all the time was like, ugh.
Yeah, it's super weird. You know, so yeah, but I mean the environment itself, I can't really speak on it, man. I really can't. Like, you know, we tried to keep a cool, peaceful environment, you know, while we were there, but I can only imagine, you know, after I left, that things got a little bit rocky because everybody had feelings about it. You know what I mean? They knew the story that was out wasn't true. So I can only imagine, you know, that there was a lot of feelings and a lot of high stress happening, and people just didn't know how to feel. You know, the fans was reacting all crazy. So, you know. But I'm not gonna lie. You can ask anybody who worked on that set. They could tell you from day one. I always said it would go 7 seasons. I would literally get on the van every day and be like, 7 seasons, baby, y'all know what's up. Like, because I just bring this energy to everything that I do, and I try to put a smile on everybody's face. So literally by the end of season 1, I had everybody saying 7 seasons every time they see me. So, hopefully they at least get that. You know what I mean? Because a lot of them people, man, I still view as family,
It's a great show. I still watch it. Like I said, Iman Shumpert has been on my show talking about his role in it. I believe he's in the next season as well. It tackles some very crazy topics, like, how one of the characters got kidnapped and impregnated. And, it's a great show. It's a great show, and I hope it does go 7 seasons.
Yeah, man.
And you had a very important role in the first.
Now I'm intrigued.
All right, they were rolling down, so bring it back on me. But one of the things I want to speak on that he was leaving off with is that he said everybody on that set know the story that was out there wasn't true. How many of those people tweeted, posted, made a video, talked about how his brother was innocent, and he had a moment. He cussed out a woman. But now that has almost derailed his career. I've seen him here and there and things, but those other major movies that he was supposed to be in, especially on Netflix. If y'all really watch Netflix like that, you'll see that some of these actors, I believe, have probably signed with Netflix studios, because you'll start seeing them in other Netflix movies or TV shows and things like that. So there's no telling where he could have been as far as some of these other films and movies and stuff that came out on Netflix. If you really pay attention, you'll start seeing some of the same actors in different shows and movies and programs and stuff. Sometimes they just do fucking voiceovers, but I digress. He mentioned it. The people that know that story wasn't true, where's their side of the story? Again, that's why it's important to share your story, brother. Tell your side of the story. If you call yourself a supporter of a brother, tell his side of the story. Share his story. Ask him ahead of time. If you think, he may be uncomfortable, ask him, bro, can I share your story? I don't got to mention your name. I've shared other brothers' story on here. I've left the names out to protect the innocent, as they say. But I've left the names out, but I've shared their stories. But Corey Joe, you asked me to keep watching after he was deleted. I did, because this was the other thing too, man. I'm big on black child actors. I love seeing black child actors win. Me and my daughter were talking about it. I had mentioned something about Disney, like one of the characters she grew up watching or shit like that. She was like, she's on drugs now? It was a little white girl. And I stopped and I thought about it, and I told my daughter, because again, she's almost 20. I was like, you remember all those little black kids that was on Disney and Nickelodeon? We never hear about them being strung out on drugs or nothing crazy like that. Ever. Now, sometimes the girls might, start turning up a little bit. She feels a little bit more sexual. She's in tune with her body and all that shit. We might see that. The boys might get in trouble. Other than fucking Orlando Brown and Raven Simone kind of spazzing out, and Raven then ain't doing things. She just, popped up one day and was bisexual, gay, lesbian, whatever the fuck. Other than Orlando Brown, those two, I haven't heard of too many other black kids acting on Nickelodeon or Disney spazzing out. The only other one I could think of, I just thought of the other one, the young cat that played the famous Jet Jackson. I think he deleted himself. He went through the self-checkout line because he was afraid to come out as gay. If y'all remember a couple of, years ago. Those of y'all that kept up with that have kids around my age, because you watch that shit. So I'm watching these child actors. I'm watching them grow up. So that was my thing with that, Corey Joe, too. I wanted to see where they went with the young men's characters in The Chi, and just watching that coming of age story. I wanted to see how they told it. Because again, shout out to what's the sister's name? Maggie. Damn it! Somebody help me out. Maggie, the homeschool teacher. I forgot sis name. but Maggie on here, she said something one day and was so profound. Black men see themselves in younger men. Black women see themselves as younger women. They could be 30, 40, 50, 60 years old. She still thinks she in her 20s hot and popping. Whereas men, we see ourselves in younger men like, damn, I remember that time. I remember when me and my little friends was riding bikes or just trying to figure shit out as we was growing up. So that's another reason I kept watching the show. I wanted to see where they took those young men's characters. Let me slide over to y'all comments real quick. Yeah, so that was my answer for that long-winded answer, Corey Joe, but I did keep watching. Yes, y'all go subscribe to Logic and Reason. Again, if you're a content creator, when y'all come over here, feel free to drop your link in the chat. Just drop your link in the chat, man. People are going to follow. They're going to subscribe. Sometimes I've done it on others' channel. I might get some subscribers. Sometimes I might not. So you're welcome to do that here. Let me slide over to Joe. Joe said, yeah, he killed the Eazy-E role. Who knows where he would be?
Got it! Hotter than fish grease!
Yeah, all this talk about the Shy, but he did kill that role as Eazy-E. That was his first major role. Joe says Jonathan Majors had all these hoes falling out over his physique. Now they quiet as fuck. They loved his physique, but it was a lot of other sisters that were like, oh, he got a slavery face or a civil rights face or something like that. So a lot of sisters been talking shit. So that's the other thing, bro. Don't listen to women as in do what they say all the time or do what's going to make them happy. Listen to just how they speak. They talk so bad about brothers because we like a pretty face and a fat ass, that we're shallow, we're colorist, all that type of stuff, anything that we have of preference. But watch how they talk about certain men. Watch how they talk about, again, usually the nice guy. Everybody got this trope and trait in their mind that, oh, he sleep on his mama couch or he in his mama basement playing video games, he fat and he sloppy and he don't do anything, and that's what they think the nice guy is. Well, that's why she rejected you, because you're the nice guy, because they have this image in their head. But again, I just like to pay attention to how people talk and how we speak as a community at large. That's why I call out a lot of this bullshit, because the next panel, the next YouTube video, the next conversation, the next social media post is going to be the direct fucking opposite, depending on who they're talking about. So they don't even believe their own shit. Let me see, Stewart says people worry about their own ass too much, but it's understandable. They really do. But we're going to build as brothers, bro. We really going to start building in here. Broken Tradition says the only one is Orlando Brown that was bugged out. Yes, yes. I think so, yeah. The girl from, I see we got kids around the same age. I know we done sat up on Friday, Saturday nights not wanting to, but ending up watching Nickelodeon and Disney and shit like that with the kids. But yeah, I think Shawty from iCarly might be on some shit. Mike in the building, what's going on, good brother?
Hotter than fish grease.
Yeah, they did. They tried to even with Keenan and Kel, they tried to say all types of fucked up shit about Kel. He wasn't taking care of his kids, all types of shit, bro. It can happen to anybody at any time. Have your fucking ammo, bro. If you truly a solid dude, I could stand on what the fuck I'm saying because I know I'm solid. If you truly a solid dude, fuck what them folks talking about. Fuck them. Don't be afraid to cuss their ass out. Go the fuck on and defend yourself. You get to verbally defend yourself. Some brothers take the other pivot and say, oh, I don't like to do that because, then it makes it look like I'm doing exactly what they say I am. Fuck y'all. Let me see. Had to make sure my phone was on silent. Broke just said, damn, that's a bar right there. I don't even know what the fuck I said, bro. You got to remind me later. We keep going. No Smoke TV. Salute. Appreciate you being in here. Have a good day at work. Hopefully you get some barbecue, somebody grilling the day of tomorrow. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe to Corey Joe as well. And see, it says, I see how they talk about Michael Jordan. They're going to talk about everybody, bro. be able to stand on what you stand on and defend yourself. Like, I think y'all the first people that the first people that probably heard it. I told y'all I'm working on moving out of the country. I legit am. After these 5 or 6 years, got some other business stuff I want to talk about. Broker traditions, and we sat around and talked business and got some good information, soaked up some good game the other day at the cigar bar. I'm telling y'all, brothers, y'all better pick up a stick. Not a weapon. I'm talking about a cigar. If you don't know, we might have to do another live broker traditions and just talk about the basics of cigar culture, like actually how to cut it and light it. Because when I'm having conversations with brothers, a lot of them are afraid to look immature coming into a cigar bar because they don't want to ask anybody on how to properly smoke a cigar. Some people just don't get it. It's easier to light up a cigarette or a Black and Mild, or they may smoke their green or whatever. They can understand that. But the information to come out of cigar bar, watch what I do in these next 5-6 years, y'all. Auntie says, toothpick Kofa up in here. Now, no, I didn't even give a rant, Auntie. We not. I didn't even rant today. I think I just hit some good points. Mike says, bro, I watched the Sigma live stream. I'm definitely a Sigma, and my lady told me the same thing. I didn't even know what a Sigma was till she told me, and I was listening to you. So thank you, King. Appreciate that, brother. You get both.
Got it! Hotter than fish grease.
Knocks down another 3-ball. This guy is hotter than fish grease here.
Let me see. Let me see. Joe says the V cut is highly overrated. So now we get into cigar talk, y'all. I gotta pivot. I used to be a punch guy, but I do like the V cut. But try this, Joseph. Cut it the V cut, then cut it the other way. Now you got a crown cut. The pull is even smoother. But we're not gonna get into cigar talk. Y'all not gonna lock me into that. I appreciate y'all being in here. Let me get to this next video. Let me play this. I'm gonna start it, then I'm gonna pause it real quick.
Or policies of in a chick that
I said pause. Damn. Oh, I done jumped ahead. All right. So I'm pausing it. So this brother right here, he has a channel with his wife called Andre and Andrea Love Crossing Borders. So if y'all ever been like Obsidian's chat or Beautiful Lies, shout out to Big Brother Guap, El Guapo, shout out to him. Anybody else that talks Passport Bro talk, this brother right here, he lives in Colombia. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to him and his wife's channel. But this is all he talks about, is pretty much leaving the States, being an expat, how to do it, all those type of things. So listen to him. I was already on that type of mindset, but listening to him kind of convinced me like it's doable. Not only is it doable, you should. I at least want to have options. I want to keep this house that I have here in Atlanta, pay this thing off, but I do want to live in another country. That's what I'm working toward. Those are my goals. So I'm saying that out loud because I want other brothers to just start thinking different. That doesn't have to be your goal. Excuse me. I just want you to start thinking differently than what you've been doing as the run-of-the-mill thing. But as I was talking about this, I had this video loaded up already because he's going to tell an HR story real quick, and I wanted to touch on that. Again, the celebrities, the Jonathan Majors, Jason Mitchells, those brothers like that, if they can go through it and they got money in the bank like that, if they got a face, if they got a platform, listen to this story that this brother's getting ready to share about one of his homeboys and how he almost got caught up. Well, he did get caught up in some shit, but he was able to turn it around. Again, brothers, it can happen to any of us for some of the most silliest, pettiest, non-threatening shit. You don't even have to do shit for something bad to happen to you in these type of spaces. But I'm gonna let Andre talk. Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to his wife. The name is up there on the screen. But solid brother gives solid information all the time about being an expat, or at least tickling your fancy on leaving the country. But let's get into this HR story real quick.
Or policies of human resource. Remember a day female could come into your job, man, one of your coworkers that you've been cool like this. You've been smashing her sister. Or you've been smashing one of her best friends as a coworker. Remember the day you can say, I see you, Keisha, looking all cute today, looking all good. I ain't mad at you, girl. What's that cologne you got on? I mean, that perfume you got on. Girl, you gonna end up with a man today, girl. You better stop. You could just joke with a female at work. Remember that? You could just joke with your female coworkers if she come to work looking jazzy. Like, where you going?
Facts, Joe.
Who you going to see during your lunch break? Yes, I do. We almost done, Mrs. Spence.
His wife came in.
We got the warden here. Make sure your boy I didn't get any proper sleep last night, so she wanted to make sure I got proper. She like, you got to get proper sleep in. So I do like that. I can't even lie, because nobody in the States ever cared about my sleeping habits. Andrea, one of the ways that I've been able to get healthy is not just by eating and drinking water and exercising, but making sure I have a proper sleeping habit. So if she knows that I've had insomnia my whole life. A lot of you guys are like me. If it was up to us, we'd be sleeping on 2 or 3 hours a week. I mean, a day. That's it. So Andrea started curving that in me. She like, okay, I know my husband has insomnia, so I got to stay on top of. I'm gonna let her know that you said hi, Jamon. I gotta stay on top of my husband and
speed it up a little bit.
This editing a video. Because of a woman just says.
Oh, now I'm gonna rewind it back. But yeah, pause it real quick while I do that. But yeah, he was just talking about his wife because his wife is Colombian, I believe. And like I said, they run the channel together. You usually see him, but sometimes they do their dual lives, and she'll give information about the women down there and how not to get got and what type of woman you actually want to look for. Because this is the thing, bro. I said it here before. You take you wherever you go as a man. If you're a piece of shit here in the States, you're gonna be a piece of shit when you leave the country. If you're a solid ass dude here in the States, you're going to be solid when you leave the country. But you got to understand that women are women. They like security and all that shit. The same thing. But if you can go in a different country and live cheaper, for better, cleaner, why not? Why not entertain that? So, but yeah, he got to bragging on his wife. No hate, Andre, if you see this. Shout out to the missus. Salute to Andrea. But I did want to get into the HR piece, so that's why I sped it up a little bit. But the thing he was just talking about, y'all remember when you could do that and it wasn't even considered really flirting? You were just talking shit at work. I've had older women talk to me like that. If I was young, you better watch your young self. Miss Mary, you better go on. It used to be a time you could do that shit and nobody felt threatened. Nobody felt out of pocket. So when things actually did happen, that meant that shit did happen. That meant you did something fucked up. That meant she did something fucked up. But again, me too. Now everything is offensive. But let's get into this story.
You to HR, and I know so many brothers that have lost jobs because of a woman just says. I know one dude, he was in upper management. He lost his job because a chick that he didn't want told HR that he got her best friend's phone number.
Well, I want to emphasize that. Y'all heard? His friend lost his job not because he said something out of pocket to a woman at work, but because he rejected her advances. He didn't want her. He hollered at her friend. I guess maybe it was a company function. Somehow or another, he knew her best friend. And he got the friend's phone number. But the chick he worked with reported him. I wanted to put emphasis on that, highlight it, put an asterisk by it, underline it, all that shit. Not the chick at work. Her friend. Her friend didn't even report anything about him. The chick he worked with just reported that he had the friend's phone number. I'm going to let it keep running, I promise.
You know he hollered at my best friend and he has her number. Here is the text message from her telling me that he has her number. They call him straight down to HR. It said, do you and so-and-so have each other's phone number? Yeah. You fired. That brother worked his tail off to get to upper management. and a chick that was hating, not a chick he was smashing or hitting on, but a hater chick caused that brother, a sister caused that brother to lose his job.
Not a black woman.
I'm not trying to live in a country like that no more. To where I gotta worry, I can't hold the door open for a female if they catch it on film. Is he smashing it? No, I don't hold no female doors open when I was working for companies anymore. Yeah, that's trifling. That's straight trifle. That's messy. Straight messy, straight petty. Now he's doing great. He's doing great. He actually, took those lemons and turned it to lemonade, man. He just came out with his first movie. He's written several books. He's making more money now selling insurance than he ever did with being a college recruiter with me. That was sad. That was my dog. He's still my dog. I talked to him 2 days ago. And I actually watched his movie too. Really good movie. The next law that made me leave.
I'm gonna pause it right there, bring it back on me. He was just talking about the laws that made him leave the States and become an expat. But I want y'all to hear that story. This goes to a Jonathan Majors accusation. This goes to a Jason Mitchell accusation, which nobody even knows what Jason Mitchell was truly accused of. People try to spin it to something sexual. They tried to make it initially seem like he beat the woman up on the set. Accusation with no clear accusation. Y'all see that? Andre just broke down his homeboy being accused of what accusation? He has my best friend's phone number. Ain't no telling what extra she done put on that shit when she went in that HR office. Tell your story so you can laugh last, bro. He who laughs last laughs best. You're not gonna laugh at all if you don't tell your damn story. Across the board, in general, black women have been silent on Jonathan Majors' ex-girlfriend. What was her name? Last name Jabbari. Getting arrested. He shouldn't have been with that white girl, no way. From the same group of women who were just slandering this brother for having a civil rights face a couple of weeks before. Let me see. Mo had slipped in. What's going on, sis?
You go, girl!
Says, what kind of job is that? That's not harassment unless they have some kind of anti-fraternization policy. Even with that, the lady he worked with, friend doesn't work with them. He just got a number. Mike says, bro, to be honest, that's where all the thirsty women at. Well, let's see. Logic says, what a psycho. Mo says, unless the girl reported him. I just heard a story about that too, where basically similar situation. The dude was knocking down this chick's girlfriend, homegirl, basically her girlfriend or whatever, not gay like that, but her friend. He was knocking her down. She introduced him to the friend. He was knocking her down. They stopped sleeping together. The friend called HR. Didn't work there. Brother lost his job. So now y'all want to talk about black women's bodies being policed? Y'all police our dick all the time. All the time. Who we can, who we can't sleep with, who we can, who we can't date, what we better say, what we better not say, how we need to say it. Y'all police us all the time. And you get mad at black men for policing black women's bodies because we ask you to stop getting BBLs that's fucking killing you. We tell you just flat out, I can't stop you from doing shit, but I just tell you I don't like makeup, weave, wigs, and eyelashes. But y'all always go, well, why y'all be hollering at us? I've said it several times, sisters. Your vagina comes with you, regardless of how you look. I can knock you down for a while, but I know I'm not going to keep you. I don't understand how y'all don't understand that shit at this day and age. How? Now, I'll deal with the eyelash and makeup. I don't like that shit because I know you're not going to change it up. because unfortunately in your lady brain, you think that's how you really look. So I might as well get the box and go. Anyway, let's pivot, get back to some of these comments. Mike says, I got a lot of stories, bro. Bruh, hit up my email. And yes, brothers, if y'all aren't comfortable being on camera sharing your stories, I promise you, my right hand to God, I will not disclose your name or location or any information you don't want me to share. But hit me up on my email. Go to the About section on my page and email me. I'll say it here. It's growthtalk.podcast@gmail.com. Shoot me your stories. Because this is the other thing I didn't like, that I don't really like seeing. I'm glad it's happening. But when you have these Reddit posts where people will just get it out and tell their stories, and then content creators will take the Reddit story and then come over here and tell it. That's kind of like what that guy did with the story about how the guy paid for his stepdaughter's college and all that shit. But that was just the girlfriend's daughter and he wasn't going to pay for the wedding. And that kind of blew up a couple of weeks ago. I also spoke about that here. I don't want to do that. I don't feel comfortable doing that. I would rather get an email from one of you where I can actually see your socials, know it came from a real person, know it came from a real place, and share the story here if you're not comfortable telling your own story. But the stories need to get out there. But again, I'll never disclose anything that you don't want me to disclose. But if you need to get the story out there, cool, I will. But hit me up on my email or find me on social media. I believe all my social media, I changed it now, is growthtalk_Kofa. So IG and Facebook, I know is that. Y'all can find me on there. Let's see. Joestown says, when that white offensive lineman choked out his white girlfriend. Silence. And see, the media does like this back and forth between black men and black women because they can keep the narrative going of black men being fucked up. That's always been our caricature in this country, is that we're just these fucked up people. So when the women are saying it out loud, the media catches wind, they want to run with it. What defense do we have if we sit here on silent? We can't do that as men. We can't keep doing that, brothers. Start speaking up. Let go of the guilt. Let go of the shame. My mom, I've said it here before, who happens to be a black woman, told me a while ago, you got to learn to make a decision and not feel guilty. Because there's a lot of people that ain't going to like that shit. There's a lot of people that are going to disagree and they're going to talk bad about you. Make the decision, not feel guilty. I'm just expanding on that. Tell the story. Stop being ashamed. I said it here before as well. We getting ready to get up off this thing. Hold on, let me get to this other comment. Mike says it would be an honor to chop it up with you on the live stream. Salute, brother. I'm gonna start. I'm in kind of transition of moving, Mike. So once I do get settled, I do want to start, doing more interviews and bringing y'all up on camera more. That probably won't be till August because I'm gonna kind of be back and forth. But that's what I'm working on. I know I started like that, bringing people up, and then my stuff started glitching. So I want to get some new equipment and really settle in and start having brothers come up and tell their stories, because that's another reason why I kind of expanded my reach and got more subscribers, because of Dr. T.Hassan Johnson. He allowed me to come on his platform and share his story. So I would be remiss if I didn't turn around and do it for other brothers, because I know we've been holding on to it for years, and this just isn't childhood trauma. A lot of this shit has impacted our lives as adults, financially, emotionally, spiritually, from a familial standpoint. We just got to tell the stories, y'all. Mo says, moving, military Mo, doing some different things, but I'm still gonna be rocking with y'all. So don't worry, I'm still being pocket. But where was I? Damn. Got thrown off for a second. Yeah, there I was talking about Joseph's comment about the white offensive lineman. So when that becomes the narrative for black men, when a white man does it or somebody else does it, it's not as big of a story. It's not as salacious. It's not as bad, right? Because it's not the big brute of a black man. I think Mo just, yeah. Yep.
You go, girl. Got it. Hotter than fish grease.
Big facts, Mo. He's the brute. He's the hulking black man that harmed the little white girl. But 'tis what it is. Tell your stories, brother. Learn to fight back. Yes, get an attorney early. Get a support system early. Do your damage control early, because once they say it, it's out there. You can say, no, I didn't, all you want to. Get yourself some ammo. Have a track record of being a solid ass dude. That's going to help. Let me see. I think that's about it for today, y'all. Like I said, I'm normally on. For those new watching, y'all make sure y'all hit that subscribe button. If I got to earn your subscription, fine, but you might as well go ahead and hit it, because the work is going to continue. I say that all the time, and I'm a man of my word. The work is going to continue, so you might as well go ahead and hit it. But do hit that like button when you're coming in or leaving out. I appreciate everybody watching today. I go live on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 7:30. Tomorrow, I'm not going to go live, so I'll be back Thursday evening at 7:30. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about then. Got some other stuff I want to kind of flesh out and see what I want to talk about. But tomorrow is the 4th, so enjoy your time with your families. I did have the presence of mind. I wanted to come on here earlier today because I know as soon as the sun starts to creep down, that's when the kickbacks and the barbecues and the fireworks and stuff is really going to get cranked up. So I wanted to come in and have this conversation. Probably have to revisit as some more information came out. But shout out to Broken Traditions for that video he dropped on Jonathan Majors. Y'all make sure y'all go over there and like and subscribe and follow that as well. I don't know who hit the unlike button, but that also helps him with the algorithm. So thank you. I appreciate him for doing the Jonathan Majors video he did, because he talked about content creation and artistic integrity and letting some more information come out. So I just appreciate everybody being in here and rocking with me the way that I move, because I know I don't move like a lot of other YouTubers. That's what makes me special. That's what makes them special. You guys don't have to be here. Some of y'all at work. Some of y'all took the day off the day before the holiday, and you're still here. So I appreciate it. I'm not going to ramble. We're going to get through these last few comments. Sean says, Auntie used to work for the court system here in Chicago. I know you got stories on top of stories. Would love to hear those as well, Auntie. Joseph says, hey, Google, your mama is a hoe for deleting my comment. What the? Mike says, I wasn't expecting the midday stream. Yeah, bro, I decided yesterday to go ahead and go at today, because again, I know everybody's getting ready for kickbacks and barbecues, or however you're going to celebrate the holiday, or just being off, even if you're not necessarily celebrating the 4th, because our people were still in chains during the 4th. But you off, enjoy yourself, cook something, eat good. I hopped on the grill last night, made some stuff for me. Y'all know my go-tos was salmon and some beef sausage, because I don't dine on swine. No pork on my fork, but I had my beef sausage, and I made baked potatoes and corn and smashed that shit. And I sat out in the garage yesterday with Garage Theater and watched Avatar, The Way of Water. God damn it, that was a long ass movie. But I had a large cigar, so I was able to smoke it and eat good, enjoy the movie, and get ready for today. But yeah, Mike, salute to you and your bad knees. Salute to you, brother, for being in here. But I know everybody's getting ready to, celebrate however they're going to celebrate. So I appreciate everybody being in here. Y'all go enjoy. Please don't be shooting in the air. That bullet has to come down somewhere. I said it the other day. You have no control over that. So be cognizant of that. Be aware of that when you're around other people, because everybody don't got the common sense God gave a billy goat. So just be aware of your surroundings. Enjoy the fireworks, the food, fellowship, whatever you're going to do. Again, I am your host, Kofa, Kofa, not coffee, not Kufu, not Kofi, or any variation thereof. Kofa rhymes with sofa. Easy to say, easy to spell. This is G.R.O.W.T.H podcast. Growth stands for gentlemen reaching our wealth through healing, where we help men find a positive fuck it. I appreciate everybody. Y'all go be safe. Join the replay gang. If you came in late, go back and watch it. But y'all go enjoy. Getting ready to go get up with Broken Traditions. Eat some vegan barbecue. I'm going to see what this going to hit on. I know he going to have some watermelon, so I'm going to fall through. And probably smoke a cigar afterward. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all, man. Y'all be safe. As always, brothers, remember, you matter. You're not crazy. Make better choices. Peace.